Right now, we're only high schoolers, and high schoolers usually only get jobs like working at McDonald's or Creamy Freeze or some job like that. That's usually just to make money. According to Wolfgang in a Washington Times article, 16% of high schoolers have jobs. Now, definitely not all of them, but most of them are probably just to make money, whether it be saving for college or just wanting money to hang out with friends or something like that. Though those are good for the time because really they just need it to make money to do things. For looking at the future, focusing on a vocation is much more important. What a vocation is in contrast to a job, a vocation is something more that you feel called to do, something that you feel more passionate about. And vocation is more important and really better for your life because it can make you feel fulfilled in your job because you're not just doing something for money, you're doing something that you feel passionate about. It also will likely you'll likely find yourself working harder if you're doing something that's a vocation and not just a job. And also, though there are many opportunities for this in a vocation, you'll often find ways to share Jesus through your vocation. First I want to look at how vocation can make you feel fulfilled. Now this next part I'll talk about is from a Psychology Today article, and I'll be quoting Brooks in the article. So she says in the article that there are 3 different ways of approaching a job, and that's the job orientation, the career orientation, and the calling orientation. Now in the job orientation, it's essentially looking at the job as a way to make money, as many high school jobs are, and it's often disconnected from like things that you personally feel you want to do in your future. Like I don't see myself personally really hoping that 10 years from now I'm still mopping floors in the dining hall. No, as I said, those things are good for now, but I don't think it's good that you should be having that for your future calling. The next is the career orientation, and in that it's a little bit different from the job orientation, and how she describes it, it looks at like moving up in your job. So what comes to mind personally is like an office job, like going from a worker to a manager to whatever's next to CEO or whatever the hierarchy is there. And that could be a little better because career could be more focused on something that you want to do, but still it may not be personally attached to you. Now the last is the calling orientation, and that is described by Brooks as a form of expression, something in which you can personally express yourself and feel passionate about what you're doing. And that's really important because if you go through your life just like working for money, then you'll never feel really fulfilled through what you do. Next I want to look at how vocation can often makes people more productive. I read in an article by Melanie Tam that there is $300 billion lost per year to unhappy workers. The article later discusses how to make a more productive and more like a better work environment for people, but one of the first things she mentioned is just to have a set purpose for the company so people know what they're working towards. And I think that definitely helps, knowing what you're working towards, because if you don't have some goal out there that you're shooting for, then it will be hard to keep working because it'll just feel like you're doing busy work without any set goal. And that's one thing about vocation, is that usually it's around a set goal that you have, whether it be for yourself or for the world, that you want to work towards. Last is that it gives an opportunity to show Christ. What I want to look at first is a verse from Exodus. It's Exodus 35:31-32. It goes like this. It's talking about a man named Bezalel. And it says, "And he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with skill, ability, and knowledge, and all kinds of crafts." That's verse 31. When I first read that, when I was probably just like studying Exodus one time, I was thinking, oh, the next verse is going to be like, he's going to be a priest or a prophet or, some job like that. Now here's verse 32. "To make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze." I'm pretty sure when I first read that, it was like, I'm pretty sure there was a page turn there between 31 and 32, because like, as I said, I told what my expectations were, and then it was like, to do artistic work with metal. And it just, I mean, I probably realized this then, but like even now still, it can show how through any job, whether it be one of the more quote-unquote holy jobs, like ministry or something like that, or a job like an office job or something like that, just that God can work through us whatever job we have, and we can share Him through whatever job we have. Lastly, I just want to impress even more again the importance of the purpose that one gets through vocation. There was a devotion I read a couple years ago by John Eldridge, and he uses this quote from Howard Thurman. It says, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs, ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." And it just shows how through doing something that you really feel passionate about, you can help the world. Like one comparison that I'll use here, say there's a doctor who has to perform life-saving surgery on someone, but that doctor only went into the medical field because he heard that it pays really well. Let's say there's another doctor who really feels passionate about saving people's lives through the job that he does. Which doctor would you rather trust to do like the life-saving surgery of, say, a family member? If it was my choice, I would pick the doctor who really feels passionate about what he's doing. So to reiterate, vocation can like really make you feel more fulfilled, and it'll make you a better worker, which can in turn help the world. And it also gives an opportunity to share God. And to close this speech, I want to look at Ephesians 2 verse 10, which probably sounds familiar. If I can find the book of Ephesians in here. So it goes, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." And how this connects with vocation is just how God had already decided on what we would do in our life before we were even born, and just impresses on how important it is that since God has called us to do it, then we should follow His calling for our life.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Jonah.